Come on, man. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations. Much love and respect to Akim out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Chaya Napash coming at you with another lesson. And this lesson is going to be entitled Your Pride Concerning Your Evil History Will Further Expose You. All right. Esau is doubling down on his wickedness, his evil that he has done, trying to make it seem like it was a good thing, that it was positive, that it was righteous. And this is only going to further expose you and backfire on you. Right? Yeah, we get mad because it's pure evil and hypocrisy. But, you know, at the end of the day, this will backfire on them. You know, I was just watching the Elder Yashawamba's video dealing with this. You know, the pride of their heart has deceived them. And, yeah, it's vexing, you know. But as I'm watching it, I'm thinking like, yo, this is going to backfire on them heavily. This is going to further expose them and allow them to be despised amongst these different nations. And I want to play this video. I want to play this video of this Edomite woman and the rest of this this crew here. And they always got one that's opposing. Listen, the view that this is how Esau operates. I've noticed this is Esau's media. The view that he wants to push forward, he'll have the majority of the people against a particular. Okay, let's say he wants to promote. Let's say he wants to promote cigarette smoking. I'm just giving an example, right? He'll have 3 different people on the panel that are for cigarette smoking, and they're going to bring out their opinion about it, and they're going to be for it, and they're going to bring out their reasons why they're for it and their arguments why they're for it, and then they'll have one opposing view just to make it seem like it's balanced. I've noticed this about this devil, to make it seem like the playing field is balanced. Everyone has different opinions, but the opinions of the ones that the narrative that they want to push will drown out the one that they don't want to push. It's all psychological to make it seem like the majority of the people are with it, blah, blah, blah. So this is what they're doing with this. That's why they have here, you have the majority of the people here, you're going to notice, are for their wickedness. It's for Esau's wickedness. And then there's one dude who's opposing it. Let's play this.
We now have a generation.
Oh, Salakia. Let me take this off like this, man, because it has an echo. Salakia. Let me do that again from the beginning, okay?
That believes everything we did by colonizing. Yes, it is true. They think everything about colonization was wrong. It wasn't. There were some terrible things, and there were some good things to come out of it. And that is about properly acknowledging your past.
Education.
Yes, completely.
Sanitation.
Transport.
Education, sanitation. So the people didn't have their own education before you devils came about. They didn't have their own education. You see, this is that madness that Esau pushes, that if he wasn't around, no one would even know how to put 1 + 1 together. They wouldn't know how to even read their own alphabet or speak their own language. They would be grunting like animals. They have their own education. They have their own standard of living, which has nothing to do with you. And how does that justify you murdering and destroying those people? How does that justify that? You see? This is why the Most High, this is why Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, our Lord, is going to destroy these Edomites. Okay? And he's going to bring them down lower than any other nation for their pride, right? Let's continue.
Transportation.
Yeah. And these devils said sanitation. They brought the diseases from where they were at to this side of the earth, to the indigenous people. It's well documented. They brought the diseases here. Okay, and they gave the diseases to the Native Americans. They were not sanitary. The Native Americans had to. The natives of different places, the stench of you fucking devils was so bad. They were like, man, we got to clean these guys up. All right, they had to teach you agriculture on this side of the earth. All right. So you devils, you Edomites are not a beacon of light as you like to teach to the people. And the fact that you're bringing this up is going to cause these people to bring out the documentation about you and the truth about you, the deep secrets. Okay? Bring that back, man. This is vexing to the spirit.
This is about properly acknowledging your past.
Education.
Yes, completely.
Sanitation.
Transportation.
So they didn't have no way of transportation. But even, okay, let's say they didn't have a horse and buggy. Let's just say, right? Right? Let's peradventure. They didn't have a type of way of transport, let's say. Right? How does that justify you destroying them? There's the Amish. They don't really deal with technology. They don't deal with certain things. Does that give us the right to go in there and massacre them and take everything they have? If I don't think, oh, he's not decorating the place enough, does that give me the right to go and destroy his house and take everything? Oh, see, but he didn't have decorations when, before I did this to them. Hey, man, you Edomites, man, I'm telling you, man. The tables will turn and people will come up against you and further expose you. Okay?
Transportation.
Yeah.
There was so much that we brought to communities.
But you see, you're typical of what we're talking about.
No, I'm saying that colonization, the empire was wrong. It was wrong, full stop. That's, the things that Britain might have done.
But that's very much through your modern
compensate for
sensibilities,
it.
you might say that, because we wouldn't now routinely go into other countries.
It was a profoundly racist set of basically invasions of other people where we subjugated people to our rule and have made them work for us. It was
Put yourself in the shoes.
made their countries work.
But imagine yourself in the shoes of a 13-year-old boy hearing you say that.
Yeah.
Oh, so what? Hearing you say the truth about your history? You're worried about a 13-year-old boy's feelings. This is why they speak about so-called white fragility. It's really Edomite fragility. You don't want him to hear negative about his people, but it's okay for you to massacre and destroy and kill and murder millions of children, right? King Leopold was chopping off the hands of little girls and boys for not bringing a certain amount of gold. Okay? And then the parents had to deal with that. The parents had to bear that, right? That's okay though, but we don't want to hurt the little devil baby's feelings. Little 13-year-old devil's feelings. That's what we're worried about. That's why they don't want critical race theory, and it's really critical race historical facts about what you've done. They don't want that out there, but supposedly they're all about truth, right? That shows you these right-wing devils, these Christian right-wing devils are the biggest hypocrites that the planet has ever seen. Okay? They're actually worse than Satanists. These Christian Edomite devils. Right-wing devils. Because they're huge hypocrites and they're only down with truth when it benefits them.
In the shoes of a 13-year-old boy hearing you say that.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
What do they then, how do they then carry that through life?
Well,
in terms of who I am as a Brit.
It's not about
I'm not
racist
saying we
ancestors.
shouldn't say it, but I'm saying that we hear much more of that than we do about the benefits of that period of time.
Well, because I don't think there were benefits. I think that we have to be completely...
Of course there were.
I don't think there were.
There are benefits to us.
A lot of those countries did not, Jonathan, those countries,
it absolutely does.
Those countries did not have money. They did not have the creativity. They did not have people in positions.
And that's a fucking lie. That's a lie too. That's all a lie. These nations didn't have creativity. What are you talking about, man? They had plenty of inventions of that time, plenty of things that, that they were innovative things that they would do of that time. You Edomites don't have creativity. All you do is steal from the other nations, especially our people. That's all you've been doing, is stealing our ideas, our innovations. So what are you talking about? But even if that was the case, that does not justify what you did. I'm gonna get through this video, man. Salaki, I'm gonna get through this video, man.
They did not have people in positions of power to do this. No, they didn't.
Countries, they just didn't live like Britain did. It doesn't make it worse. It just makes it different.
So it's okay to live without education.
It's okay to live without education. We must kill them all so they can learn education. See, this is the devil. These people are the devil. When we tell you the so-called white man and the white woman and the child are devils by nature, you don't understand what we're saying to you. This is a depiction of it. And you cannot change them. They will not change. You can show them the facts too. You can show them, no, that's not true. We have the fact. They don't want to see it. They will ignore it. They will try to block it out because they don't want to see it. Let's continue, man. Slovakia, let's continue.
Without education, and it's okay to live without a transportation system, is it?
They did have education. It just wasn't our education system. They had language. It wasn't our language.
And by the way, everything that these devils have and everything that they push forth in the earth is destructive to the earth. Even their transportation. That is a major cause of the pollution of the planet. That is a major reason why the water, the airway is completely polluted, which is actually killing people. So yeah, you got to transport, but while you have the transport, the way you use the transport, it actually destroys the planet Earth and the creation. See, when we get into the kingdom of heaven, the transport that we're going to have, the things that we're going to create, right, are going to be in unison with the planet. It's going to be it's going to benefit the earth. It's going to benefit the people. It's not going to kill the people like the things that you do and the things that you create. You see, because the scriptures speak about how certain things, everything. How do you speak it? You know, it spoke about the use, the things that man need for life, wine, honey, water, so on and so forth. To the righteous, it's good. But to the ungodly, to the wicked, which are you Edomites, it's turned into evil. You've turned everything that you've touched into evil. And when we get into the kingdom of heaven, we're going to show you how to turn it into righteousness, how to make it to benefit the planet.
It just wasn't our education system. They had language. It wasn't our language.
This cultural
medicine we brought to
precisely what we have.
Yes.
I don't know why we're even.
And they don't want to hear it. That's why she's speaking. Her eyes is closed because she doesn't want to see it. Right? The scriptures speak about the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. That's these Edomites. Anyways, let me read this real quick, man. Because your time is coming, Esau, and these things that you're doing, trying to push that white pride of the pride of Esau's of your Edomite history, is really just going to backfire on you. It's going to actually backfire. So, anyways, this is Psalm 73 and verse 1. It says, "Truly, the Most High is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart," and that's going to be displayed in the kingdom of heaven very soon. It says, "But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." And these devils, they prosper. Don't get it wrong. These devils prosper in their wickedness. They prosper. They've been prospering. Okay? It says, For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. Okay? They are not in trouble as other men, right? These Edomites are doing all kind of wickedness. They're going around the earth. They're going to these different Dominican Republic, committing pedophilia. They're doing that. It's well known, that these devils do that. Okay? Specifically, these Quebecois devils from where I'm from, they're known for going over there and doing that. Right? And all manner, and the wickedness of Esau is so great. You would have to be here all week to even get through a percent, just 5% of what these devils do. Okay? They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covered them as a garment. They have not been punished for the evil that they've done. They're getting mad about words. They're getting mad about people bringing up the history. That's what they're crying about. That's what they're kicking about. Oh, how can a little 13-year-old white boy, how can he live with hearing this? But it's the facts. It's the truth. This is what they're crying about. The punishment has not come yet. The judgment has not come for these Edomites as of yet. But it's coming. This is what we're here to proclaim. It says they stand out. It says their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily, and that was a display of what you've seen there. They were speaking loftily, they were speaking proudly, they were speaking wickedly concerning oppression, concerning their evil history. Okay? And the Lord is going to repay these devils back a twofold for what they have done in the planet Earth. Okay? Let's go to Obadiah. Because like I said, this is going to backfire on you devils, man. Don't get it twisted. This is going to backfire on you devils. Okay? This is going to backfire on you Edomites. Absolutely. This is Obadiah 1. In verse 2, it says, "Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised." They're going to look down upon you devils more and more. See, this pride, this arrogancy, the scriptures speak about pride is hateful between before the Most High and men. So men hate pride too. Men have a hatred of pride as well as the Most High does. And this is a full display of high-level pride and arrogancy. Right? Amongst all these nations, they're seeing who the most proud are. Right? Who the devils of the planet Earth are. They're seeing that now. All right? And they're going to make videos. They're going to look up history. They're going to start exposing more and more history about you devils. So the thing that you didn't want is going to come to fruition even more because of this pride that you're pushing forth. So it's really counterintuitive, right? You know, as they say, when you see your enemy make a mistake, let them continue. Don't stop your enemy when they're making a mistake. I don't remember which person said that. I don't know if it was Napoleon or I don't remember who said that, but there's a saying that goes around that says, when you see your enemy making a mistake, let them keep going. Don't stop them. All right? This is Habakkuk 2 and 4. And this is a mistake. Trust me. This is going to backfire on you devils real soon. This is Habakkuk 2 and 4. It reads, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith, by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his design." First of all, his wine is what? His philosophies, his wickedness, his evil. You know, part of his wine is actually that gangster rap music that he pushed down you Negroes' throats and that he promoted. That's part of his wine too. Let me read that again. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home." And that's why those South Africans were in South Africa causing apartheid and oppressing those people in their own land. The scriptures speak about that. It speaks about they oppress a man in his heritage. Okay? But now they're the victims. Now they're the victims of oppression. Okay? It says, "Neither is," according to them, "neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." Right? Hey, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, "Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay." You've been increasing that which is not yours. You've been stealing, and you're still stealing to this day. The thing is, they talk about it like it was in the past. No, you still have that economic hitman system set up where you go and you destroy these nations economically. You're still doing that. You're still sucking their resources dry through that economic destruction. You're still doing that. That's why you have third world countries to this day that are full of natural resources, but they're in complete poverty. The people are in complete poverty. That's because of you devils. All right? So people are going to start rising up against Esau and speaking against Esau and showing them, proving to them that they are the problem and the cancer of the planet Earth. As much as they're trying to show that we are the cancer, the people are going to show that you are the cancer. That's why it says they're going to take up a parable against you. Okay? So keep doing what you're doing. You know, and there's other Edomites that see it and they're like, nah, we can't say that was good. And yeah, but that's not going to stop it. That's not going to stop the pride of the other Edomites from pushing forth. And it's not going to stop you from being fully exposed either. Okay? You're going to have to continue. You're going to have to be exposed. There's no other way it can be. All right? And by you doing this, you're really just digging yourself further, Salakia. Oh my gosh. Salakia, you're really just digging yourself further into quicksand. What the hell is going on? You're really just digging yourself further into quicksand. All right? This phone be bugging out, man. Okay? Now I want to go to one more video the elder Yashawamba brought out. There was a video of them coming I guess directly from South Africa. And them South Africans are known for being entitled people, not pleasant people to be around. They're known for having bad character. Them white South Africans, they're known for having bad character. They have a bad reputation. I remember there's this one Edomite who let a South African in his home. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to try to find that video, Lord willing. He let a South African in his home. He said, I'm going to help my white South African brothers. And he was in that spirit. And he started to explain how they were so entitled. They were unappreciative. He had to kick his ass out. He made another video saying I had to kick him out the house. And, you know, he was too entitled. He was doing this and that. He was basically giving that guy hell, right? For that guy trying to catch himself being so-called brotherly. I mean, the video was hilarious. And I'm going to try to find that. And we're going to see, you know, how they behave out here in Babylon. Because they were entitled in South Africa, right? After that, you know, the apartheid that they did, right? And the destruction of the native so-called black South Africans. And they're coming to America to be entitled again. So we're going to see how that goes. You know, at least when Israelites come over, you know, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, when they come over to America to find a better life, at least they're working hard. They're trying to they're trying to make a living for themselves. They're not expecting particular handouts and being unappreciative, so to speak. They're just doing what they have to do to survive. You know? I'm sure these South Africans are not coming with that same mindset. You know? And they're not being oppressed. They haven't seen nothing. They don't know what a true oppression is. Yeah, you have certain of them that rose up against them, but how did they get that land to begin with that they're rising up against them for? Because they own, what, 70% of the land or something like that? Listen, man, they're doing way better than the native Africans that are there. And that was through favoritism of them being white. So how the hell are they being oppressed? See, all these things are going to come and bite you in the ass, Esau. Let's play this, man.
The first group of white South Africans granted refugee status has arrived in the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau greeted them at Dulles Airport in Virginia on Monday.
The president made it clear that Afrikaners in South Africa who were the victims of unjust racial discrimination would be welcome to come to the United States.
President Donald Trump has blocked mostly non-white refugee admissions from the rest of the world, but in February offered to resettle Afrikaners, the descendants of mostly Dutch settlers. The move has drawn criticism from Democrats and stirred confusion in South Africa.
Yeah, following after their forefather, King Leopold, who terrorized the Congo for the rubber.
They're being killed, and we don't want to see people be killed.
Trump made those comments on Monday when asked why South Africans were being prioritized. He did not provide evidence.
But it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about. But it's a terrible thing that's taking place. And
yeah, but this devil doesn't need evidence to be hurt. He doesn't need evidence to blame and attack. You know? When he wants to attack, he blames. That's it. So anyways, I'm not even going to play no more of this crap. You know, but at the end of the day, you see what Esau is doing. You know, he's doubling down on his wickedness, and it's gonna backfire on him. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect, and I'll say shalom.